Good morning or late evening. Welcome to the Early Bird Podcast. Dave Locker and Adam Shar bringing you a five-game early slate edition. Going to break it down game by game here. Only 5 games. It starts at 12:35 Eastern time though, so make sure to get those lineups in if you're trying to get into this slate. Look, here's the deal. We have the deeper dive. We got live before lock. We got the strategy show. All of that for the main slate. The strategy show will cover the early one too, I would imagine, right, Adam? You guys will cover the early slate too?
I'm not sure.
No? Okay. For some reason, I thought Josh usually did.
Sometimes he does, and sometimes he doesn't.
Okay. Well, that's why we cover it here. Like, we want to give you guys as much content as possible and pump out some free content here as we do every day on YouTube. So let's go game by game. We'll jump right into it. By the way, the Early Bird is presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. Use the promo code AWESEMO, AWESEMO, when you sign up. Get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points, which are as good as cash. You can use them on the site as currency, win more currency, and withdraw currency, all from your $30. Up to $30 to match you up to any deposit there. 10 entry max, no 150 entries. Solid prize pools at the top, but balanced payouts and low management fees, sometimes no management fees at all. So check them out in the morning when you get a chance. You get a lot of those that fill up real quick. That's Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. Sponsor the deeper dive. Awesome when you sign up. Use that. Get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points upon depositing. All right, Adam. 5 games here. Cincinnati, Houston. Verlander, man, he's been giving up the bombs lately, huh? Another 2 yesterday.
Yeah, it's weird. Like there are a number of good pitchers this year that are pitching well, but then also just getting blasted when
2 of them are on Houston.
Yeah, him and Cole. It's the Houston pitchers and the Cleveland pitchers. Like Bauer, who hasn't even been good this year, but he's doing it. Bieber has been really good, except for the home runs.
Yeah, and
Carrasco also.
Has Carrasco even been good though? Is the question.
Yeah, I think he's been pretty good, but yeah, it's like
Carrasco though.
Right. But yeah, it's weird. It's just like, Bieber's the one that's been great there, but he is just getting blasted when guys do hit the ball.
For sure. You've got Garrett Cole on the mound today. He's allowed 15 home runs. 12 of them are solo shots, though, which is pretty beneficial and is a whole lot less worrisome when you're giving up solo shots and not with runners on base. Makes a huge difference when you're striking out as many batters as he is. Justin Verlander, not a great start the other day. Tyler Mahle here going up against Houston. You and I have talked a lot about him. Similar to Anthony DeSclafani, like they're good against righties, lefties, they struggle. But even though Houston doesn't have a lot of lefties, they also don't have a lot of strikeouts. How are you approaching this pitching matchup between Cole and Mahle at Great American?
Yeah, I have some interest in Mahle here just because it is the 5-game slate, and I think he is a good pitcher. I think he's a better pitcher than DeSclafani is. And you mentioned him being really good against righties. You're going to get a mostly right-handed lineup for Houston, and he is just a pretty good pitcher who's better than his price tag. I think the price tag pretty clearly takes into account that Houston's a tough matchup, so using him as an SP2 is perfectly fine.
Any interest in Cole?
Yeah, of course.
He's actually really cheap given his upside.
Yeah, I think he was like $12K last time he pitched. He's 11-4 on DraftKings here. It's not a great part.
He was 12-2 against Baltimore. He only had 39 fantasy points.
That's it.
And then he was 11-9 against Toronto. He had 30.
Yeah, so the Reds are in the top 10 in their active roster in strikeout percentage against right-handed pitching this year. Obviously, it's a good park for hitters. You run some home run risk, but leads the world in strikeout percentage. He's got the best PCRA in baseball as well. He's been, ridiculously good this year. So, yeah, definitely looking to get to as much Garrett Cole as I can on the 5-game slate.
Assuming Yordan Alvarez starts at left field again, you like him against Mahle. It's hard not to.
Yeah, any of the lefties on Houston. Alvarez, would be the favorite, but Michael Brantley in a good spot. Reddick, if he's in instead. Can't really go wrong with lefties. I think Mahle is better or will be better, at least against lefties, than he has been in the past, but it's still definitely the weaker side for him.
And I'll throw it out there. Dietrich and Suarez are still really cheap. Cole does give up home runs. It's not a crazy idea. Dietrich hit a 2-run shot off Verlander yesterday. So these guys are very cheap. It's a 5-game slate. If you're not going Cole, it's not the crazy. Hell, if you are going Cole, it's not the craziest idea. New York Yankees, Tampa Bay Rays. We've got Blake Snell on the bump, CC Sabathia at Yankee Stadium. I know weather's supposed to continue to be rough in terms of rain over the next day or two in the Northeast, at least around me. So I don't know what we're expecting here. Let's see. Yeah, we should be all right from what I'm seeing now. I'm just looking at the hourly forecast. I'm not pulling up the radar. But it's worth paying attention to because we're going to talk about the Nats who just postponed their second straight game. Could be potential weather in a lot of these spots. But thoughts on Blake Snell? Let me mention something to you. I had mentioned to Josh on the strategy show that with the return of Stanton and then the expected return of Aaron Judge, it makes this Yankees lineup so much more potent, but it also makes them a higher upside matchup for opposing pitchers.
Yeah, that's very true. Still a really, really scary spot.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Blake Snell is really good. Getting him outside of Tropicana isn't ideal. I think that a lot will come down to projected ownership. I prefer Cole, obviously, but you are getting close to a $2,000 discount from Cole to Snell. And if everyone's going to try and play Cole, then it's not the craziest idea in large field tournaments, go to Snell and then mix in a couple of those Cincinnati power bats and just hope that Snell ends up being the highest scoring pitcher on the slate. He's certainly capable of it. The price tag takes into account the difficult matchup against the Yankees, but it is a really, really tough spot.
It is. It's funny though, like when Judge returns, you're going to have Sanchez, Judge, Stanton. There will be strikeouts, and we've seen it. We saw it. Like I remember last year you were heavy on. It was Mike Clevenger towards the end of the year, and you had mentioned, look, it's a complete boom or bust spot, no question. And he racked up 11 strikeouts in 7 innings. Like those are the type of games you can have against the Yankees when you're on your stuff. But the thing is, if you're not crisp as possible, if you're not if you're not hitting all of your spots, you're going to get wrecked.
Yeah, and also the way their lineup sets up, it favors right-handed pitching just because, you can get those sliders down and away. You can get the strikeouts against Stanton and Judge when he comes back, and then Encarnacion, Sanchez. All those guys have the platoon advantage here. And while Snell is really good against righties, just with what those hitters in particular struggle with, Snell doesn't have that pitch because he doesn't throw right-handed.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. Although he definitely does have a a wicked curve and
yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like he has really, really good strikeout stuff. He just can't bury the slider down and away because he throws with the wrong hand.
Right. No, for sure. Yeah. It's funny. He throws the curve and changeup 55% of the time against righties this year. He's got whiff rates of 25 and 26 and 20%. So it's not that he can't bury righties, but you're right. The slider against guys like Stanton, Judge, and Sanchez is definitely their Achilles heel. I have to ask you about Sabathia just because the Rays do have a very high K rate against lefties. And for all we know, they're going to run out 2 catchers in the lineup again. That was a pretty ugly lineup yesterday. Do you have any interest in a very discounted Sabathia? I don't think it's the craziest idea if you're going cheap here.
No, I don't think so either. I think Tyler Mahle's a better pitcher at this point than CC Sabathia is, but there's no question that there are more strikeouts in the Tampa Bay lineup than in the Houston lineup. So, not the worst idea to be mixing in some CC as well. Not a high strikeout pitcher, and it is a scary spot against guys like Garcia and Pham, but he's cheap enough where I think that there is upside.
Any bats in this game you like?
Yeah, I like the right-handed power for Tampa, and then, also Giancarlo Stanton, Gary Sanchez, as long as they're not getting a lot of ownership.
What are they priced at?
Stanton's $5,200 on DraftKings. Sanchez is $46. The price tag on Sanchez in particular, I think, is pretty appealing.
Yeah, so do I. That's not bad at all. All right. Washington, Philadelphia. Maybe this game will play. They got a doubleheader today.
It doesn't look likely, I don't think.
I know. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Zach Eflin, Patrick Corbin. I guess Arrieta's going to pitch the night game and Corbin's going to pitch the day game. So that's what it looks like, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like right now.
All right. Well, I really liked the Washington bats against Arrieta, and not once did I get to actually – well, I rostered them. They just never played. And we had some interest in Corbin. Here it is, same matchup again, same this is the 3rd straight day where you and I are having this conversation. Now it was on a a 12-game slate, a 15-game slate, and now on a 5-game slate.
Yeah, so I mean, Corbin still. It's kind of funny to me that they never changed his price. It was like
they
a
usually
mispricing.
always do.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a mispricing the first time. Now you're getting him on a 5-game slate at 8,200. I think he's like I prefer him over Snell if this game does actually go. Obviously, we don't know what the Philadelphia lineup will look like. If Real Muto is still out, that's a benefit for Corbin. He hasn't been anywhere near as good as last season, but he's still a good pitcher and he's priced down. So I still like Corbin here for the third straight day.
What's that last thing you said?
For the third straight day.
Yeah, it's really outrageous, man. We've been talking about him this much. He better come through. He better pull through. You know what I mean? After all of that, if we get a garbage game from him, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. I'll throw out the same thing again, though. Corbin's good, but he only has 23% strikeouts against righties. And Scott Kingery's been nasty. Like, he really looks good. He's going to be batting third. I'm assuming Real Muto is out for what's really only the second straight game because so many of them have been postponed. I also think if Real Muto is out and Knapp is in, while catchers obviously have less to do in the pitcher with stolen bases, Real Muto is very good at limiting stolen bases. So Trey Turner to me even becomes more appealing from a base stealing perspective. What are your thoughts on bats here?
Yeah, with you on Turner. Also looking to left-handed power from the Nats. Matt Adams and Juan Soto. I've really wanted to play the last couple of days against Arrieta.
Yeah, I did play them the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Not yesterday, but the day before.
The day before, yeah. But, not a bad spot against Eflin either.
All right. Oakland and Baltimore, Chris Bassett, Josh Rogers. It's hard to buy into Bassett when you look at some of these underlying numbers, Adam. But he's facing Baltimore, so where are you at?
Yeah, I mean, on this slate, on some slates, I would have a lot of interest. And I still don't think it's a bad play here, but I put him behind Corbin, obviously Cole, and then think I'm going to want to just get down to those cheaper SP2s with Molly and Sabathia a pretty good amount of the time. Bassett's, he's okay. He's not as good as he was at the start of the season, but the Orioles aren't good either. It's a good park for pitching. I'm not opposed to getting Bassett. Like, I'd rather get Bassett than Zach Davies against the Padres. But so I think a lot really will depend on the weather in the Washington game, whether or not Corbin's available.
Okay. What about the other side of this one? Josh Rogers. What do you know about this fella?
Not very good. He was part of one of the trades the Orioles made last year. I think the Zach Britton to the Yankees trade. He was a piece there. He hasn't been great at AAA. I don't think I'm pulling up his numbers now, but I'm pretty sure he was one of the guys that the Orioles GM was alluding to when he said he would like to call some guys up from AAA, but nobody deserved it. He struck out 13% of hitters at AAA this year.
My God.
3.9% walk percentage is good, but no strikeouts at all. Now you're facing this Athletics team that has a lot of power. I'm seeing Jimmy Yacobonis list. I'm guessing he's just the opener though.
It says Rogers will start against Oakland, so I don't know.
Okay, I guess the site I'm looking at is just wrong.
Unless Yacobonis is the long reliever?
No, he's not stretched out. If anything, he'd be opening.
Okay. Yeah, because Rogers has made 2 appearances, both of them out of the bullpen, though, and he's thrown 70 and 82 pitches. So he's stretched out enough. And what's up?
He made 11 starts at AAA, too.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm saying, and I think he just made, he pitched 4 1/3 innings. What's today, the 19th? Wednesday the 19th, so or late Tuesday. He so 4 days ago on the 14th. All right.
I just saw this. He's allowed 2.95 home runs per 9 innings at AAA this year. The Orioles AAA stadium, and I don't know how many of those starts are at home, but in general, the league the Orioles AAA team plays in is pitcher friendly. The Orioles Park in Norfolk, or the Orioles AAA Park in Norfolk, is extremely pitcher friendly. So that's
really horrible.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to do.
It's not the PCL, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. 23.7% home runs per fly balls. Obviously, That's high, but that's a lot of home runs.
Wait, no, 23.7% home runs per fly ball, you said?
Yeah.
God, what's his fly ball rate?
Let me see.
Because if he's a ground ball pitcher, that doesn't mean anything.
36.5%.
All right, that's pretty bad.
24% line drive.
Yeah. Ground ball?
39.4.
Okay, so he's not a ground ball pitcher. He's just a gets hit hard pitcher.
Yeah, he's not a ground ball pitcher. He's not a strikeout pitcher. I don't know
Why he's
I
here?
thought those were the only two options.
I don't know why he's here.
Yeah.
Do you like Oakland bats?
Yes. Yeah. They're cheap still. You know, obviously the park's not good. They'd probably have like an 8.2 implied run total if this game were in Baltimore. But they're at almost 6.
Maybe at the Oracle Park too. God.
Yeah.
How bad this guy is, I don't think it matters where they're playing.
No. So yeah, I definitely like Oakland bats.
Yeah, me too. I think they'll probably be chalky.
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume so because it's going to be pretty easy to get cool with these guys.
All right. Oh man, a bunch of long days lately. Let's talk about the last game here. Actually, I'll ask you quickly. Any Baltimore interest against Bassett?
Not really. Trey Mancini is affordably priced, and Chance Sisco probably will be batting cleanup at 3,300 on DraftKings. Rio Ruiz is 2,500 on draft. Okay, so I do have some Baltimore interest because these guys are free. Rio Ruiz is 2,500. Chris Davis is 2,200.
Jeez, my God, that's on DraftKings.
Yeah, on DraftKings. So I mean, these guys aren't good, but they do have some power, and they are priced like they're not going to play.
That's crazy. That's like that you want to play Garrett Cole and another expensive pitcher. There you go.
Yep.
All right. Last one here, Adam. San Diego, Milwaukee, Zach Davies, Matt Strahm. You like either of these guys?
Not particularly. Davies is okay, but I would rather get to some Padres bats because Davies doesn't miss a lot of bats, and we know the Padres have a ton of strikeouts and a lot of power. So whenever you get a pitcher against them that isn't likely to strike them out, I like the idea of loading up on guys like Renfroe or Reyes. Reyes in particular is really inexpensive.
Yeah, he is. And this park really isn't that terrible. I mean, it's not Globe Life, but it's also not O.co or Oracle. I mean, it's playing decent for hitters. Matt Strahm was obviously highly touted, pretty high prospect. Do you think the struggles that we've seen from him recently are just him coming into his own? One of them was at Coors Field. Another one was against Miami. Like, is there anything to make of this? Like, what do you grade him out as right now? How do you view Matt Strahm?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's decent. I don't think he's anything great. I don't think he's bad. He's kind of a guy that I just haven't really rostered much this season, and I normally don't end up taking a lot of hitters against either. So far, he's struck out 23% of righties, 339 expected WOBA, 212 ISO. So, just pretty mediocre numbers across the board. And you're getting, he has the platoon advantage against two of the best hitters on Milwaukee in Moustakas and Yelich, but you're still dealing with a bunch of pretty good righties, Kane and Braun, Grandolph on the right side, and then you should get, Hernan Perez and Jesus Aguilar, most likely.
It's interesting because against righties, he's not really allowing a lot of base runners. He has a 1.00 whip, 296 WOBA, but like you said, a 211 ISO and 1 3/4 home runs per 9. Kind of interesting. I don't really care if the power is there, I'd take it, but kind of just similar to what I talked about yesterday. If I'm getting a cheap Ryan Braun and a cheap Lorenzo Cain, they're a little bit more than yesterday, but they're still not egregiously expensive. Aguilar is very cheap. I don't think it's a crazy idea to have some interest on a 5-game slate against Strahm, who has given up power to righties.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, so we're through 5, unless you wanted to talk a little bit more about the Padre bats. But
no, Reyes is really the one on DraftKings that stands out at 3,800.
All right, so we're through 5 games. Again, check out the deeper dive with Adam and myself. Alex Baker will join us for the last time this week. You want to stick around for Live Before Lock. And, of course, the Strategy Show, 9:30 Eastern Time every morning to get you started off right after we get you started off real right here on the Early Bird. Top stacks and top pitcher options. We'll give a couple, Adam. Who are your two top pitchers here if you're making a single entry GPP lineup?
Garrett Cole and probably Tyler Mahle, assuming he's not going to be really popular. And then I would look to get to Oakland or San Diego, I guess.
Okay. I think I agree with that, but I could see myself getting some CC Sabathia here just because it's really not a great slate for pitching. So, and maybe, I mean, Corbin obviously factors in, but if you're playing him and Cole, you're going to have probably a difficult time getting all the bats you like. Who are the top teams you like? I think Oakland has to be one. Like, if you could probably play Corbin and Cole and get some Oakland stacks in.
Yeah, no question. I almost think it's going to be too easy, and it's just going to be like such a popular construction that
possible. Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see how projected ownership turns out, because it would be nice if we can just do that and move on. It would kind of suck if you have to just fade obviously the best on the slate.
Yeah, you know what? I just did it right now. It's super, super easy with all of the best hitters from Oakland. So, yeah. All right, so did you give a team that you like the most here?
Oakland, and then probably like the Padres.
All right. I think I'll throw Washington out there just because they have a lot of power and they're capable of going off at any time. And I like the lefties against Eflin, not as much as I did against Arrieta, but definitely still like them. All right, I guess that'll do it for us, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you get back to the bar. And I'm just kidding. Adam's in his new place, right next to the docks. Beautiful apartment, living up life, man. Got more room than you need over there.
Yeah, loving it.
All right, well, I'll let you go back to enjoying your spacious apartment. We're going to sign off. Remember, if you want to check out awesomeo.com, you want to check out a membership, use the promo code EARLYBIRD, all one word. You get 50% off your first month of membership for projections, ownership projections, top stack tool, lineup, fantasy cruncher, the lineup builder. These are the tools that Alex Baker, the guy you always see at the top of contests, uses himself, developed himself. No bullshit. Awesomeo.com. Awesomeo Plus membership. Use the promo code EARLYBIRD. You get half off your first membership or your first month of membership. Say what's up in the Slack chat when you sign in, and we'll be happy to show you around. That'll do it for us. Until next time, good luck. We'll catch you back here on the next edition of the Early Bird.